DoorDash.
FIFA 26 free kick is presented by Adidas. Well, earlier today in the battle for control of place in the round of 32 with a clean sheet win over Australia. And the USA now clear leaders in the group. They can clinch the top spot if Paraguay win or draw tonight. But Türkiye needs a win to keep their World Cup dreams alive. So plenty to look forward to in this one then. Who have you gone for your player to watch?
I picked the opposite team in Spain, Real Madrid, to play Arda Guler. He had been really great player there in Spain, but I think today he will make in the half space of damage against, in this case, Paraguay. But then he has to finish better than his action. He had a lot of shots the last game, but also with his last pass, he will do great.
I gotta go for Julio Enciso, Pin. I mean, if Paraguay want to have a chance today, they rely heavily on him. He's the difference maker. He can set up goals, he can assist players, but he's a very good dribbler, very good in 1v1 situations. And in that final third, they need him at his best tonight.
OK, it is a huge game that we absolutely cannot wait for. The fans tonight know the stakes. Both sides open with losses and now face an uphill battle to reach the round of 32. But hope for both is very much alive. San Francisco Bay Area, the host for tonight's Group D contest between Türkiye and Paraguay. Pim Moonstein, Thiago Alcantara and Juan Pablo Angel with you. It is a real chance for Türkiye to respond after their opening day defeat. Is that going to affect how they play this game, do you think?
I think it's a perfect game that both teams, they show who they are. Turkey having the possession had to make better passes in front, not so horizontal. And Paraguay better transitions. That's why they changed the striker to have this speed in front. And let's see who's the first who's scoring.
These players, Juan, know exactly what's at stake tonight. They'll be feeling right up for it, won't they?
Yeah, you would expect to not only have a better performance, but in particular from Paraguay. This is a team that is well known for their passion. How difficult are they to play against them? You know, the physicality. They didn't show neither of that, you know, in the first game. So I like to see that, obviously playing better, but I like to see the competitiveness that they normally show up.
OK, well, the players are out and ready. Kickoff is on the way. Before that, though, let's listen into the anthems.
Please rise if you are able for the playing of the national anthem of Turkiye. Please remain standing if you are able for the playing of the national anthem of Paraguay.
It's Türkiye against Paraguay, two teams looking to get a win for the first time at this World Cup. Derek Ray and Rob Green will have the call next.
FIFA World Cup 2026 on Fox is presented by Lay's.
On a dizzying World Cup Friday, another serving of nourishment. The fourth and last match before we all finally go to sleep takes place here in the Bay Area. Türkiye and Paraguay under pressure after losing their opening games in Group D against Australia and the USA, respectively. Remember, the United States already through to the knockout stages and will top the group and play here in this venue in the round of 32 if, it's still a big if, Türkiye don't win tonight. Vincenzo Montella has made 3 alterations. Mert Muldur, who seems to be in a constant internal duel with Zeki Çelik at right back, gets the nod over the latter. Meanwhile, higher up, Fenerbahçe's Yunus Akgün, an attacking all-rounder, is preferred to Orkun Kökçü. Kenan Yildiz comes in for Barış Alper Yilmaz. The magic, they hope, to be provided by Arda Guler of Real Madrid. For Paraguay, same back four as last time, but a couple of changes. One in midfield where Matías Galarza, who plays in MLS for Atlanta United, replaces Damian Bobadilla, the unfortunate scorer of the 8th minute own goal against the USA. The big surprise, the inclusion in attack of Isidro Pita for only his 6th international appearance, to the exclusion of Antonio Sanabria, the top scorer in qualifying. Evening all, Derek Ray and Rob Green with you on Fox here in the South Bay, the global hub for innovation, something that was frankly missing first time out for Türkiye and Paraguay. Rob, work to do for both.
Yeah, absolutely. Evening, Derek. Hello, everyone. And it was one where both teams, you felt in their opening games, went away from their identities, got lost in the occasion against a stubborn Australia. Türkiye were left floundering in terms of creativity. Paraguay blown away, normally so stubborn themselves. They're going to want to get back to their identities tonight.
I look there at Gustavo Alfaro, the man in charge of Paraguay, Arda Guler. For Türkiye, the young player of the season in the UEFA Champions League. Paraguay will technically be alive going into match day 3, even with a second successive defeat. Bizarre though that may sound, such are the vagaries of the system. Türkiye must take something from this confrontation to have any chance of moving on. On a day that saw the United States make it 2 victories out of 2 to book a place in the knockout stages, this game will have a say in whether or not the USA top the group and thus play next here in Santa Clara. The American squad, no doubt, watching this match very closely at their base on the southern California coast and hoping for a draw or a Paraguay win to seal that particular deal. Vibrant atmosphere, great to have the pleasure of your company. And Türkiye in the white shirts in this first half. And an early touch for Uğurcan Çakır, a 30-year-old goalkeeper. They have operating on the left Kenan Yildiz this time around. Rob, for you, what will be important? Who will look to shape this game?
Yeah, Yildiz is a big inclusion. He's a star player in Europe and one that you're looking at for that creativity, that flair.
And getting onto the front foot, and how about that for a start? It's a magnificent start from Paraguay. What a strike it was! Matías Galarza coming into the side, and wow! Well, it's just what Paraguay needed. It's just what Türkiye wanted to avoid.
What a reaction to a heavy defeat in the first game. What a response and what a goal. It's a brilliant strike. From all of 25 yards, just wants to get it out of his feet. Put your laces through it. It's the accuracy as much as the power. Fired into the bottom corner. And it's the press from Paraguay that makes all the difference. Turkiye having possession. They were comfortable. Paraguay got that press on, won the loose ball, and then all of a sudden, Galarza, well, he wasn't picked for the first game. I think he's made his point.
I think he has, 100%. A man who plays in MLS here in the United States for Atlanta United, joined on loan from River Plate of Argentina. It's not a bad rate of striking at international level. And that goal timed as going in with 65 seconds on the stopwatch. So the earliest goal so far at this FIFA World Cup.
We thought Morocco were quick today, but Paraguay can outdo them. And that is their game plan. If they're going to score goals, it's in 3 or less passes. Forward, direct and quick. Turkiye, he conceded early against Australia and were left floundering. They're coming up with a similar problem tonight already.
The two players just running into each other that time. Kubas and Galarza. Very hectic in the midfield area. It's a quick start on this cool night, and out comes the yellow card already. And as you can see, tempers really getting frayed. Almiron, Miguel Almirón having something to say about that. And he wasn't the only one. Let's have a look at the incident. There was the challenge flying in. Galarza.
Well, he's had some opening 3 minutes. Galarza is fired up and ready to go after that goal. Turkiye desperate to get on with it, desperate to get this game going. Just feel Ivan Barton, the referee, needs everybody just to calm down a fraction. It's a red-hot atmosphere inside the Levi Stadium.
An eventful beginning for Galarza. Cracking goal, and now has his name taken by Ivan Barton, the referee from El Salvador. Really was a jolt for Turkey what happened to them in the first game against Australia. There were many who actually thought that Vincenzo Montella's side were slight favourites to win this group, certainly not far away from the United States, whatever way you slice it. But they're in real trouble here, albeit they still have plenty of time left to rectify the situation.
Yeah, and you don't have to go back too far, do you? A matter of days since their last game where they were faced with the same proposition. You're saying, right, they had 30 shots against Australia and didn't come up with anything really of note within amongst it all. They were blocked, they were hounded out, they were hassled out. And all of a sudden they're looking at a wall of blue, dark blue here.
Getting forward from left back was Ferdi Kadiolu for Turkiye, man who plays for Brighton and Hove Albion in the Premier League in England. Muldur getting the green light to play at right back ahead of Zeki Çelik. Paraguay posted a watertight defence for most of South American qualifying. That was very much their strength.
You can see already, Derek, that you're looking at a Paraguay team that have come out with the rocket being fired at them by the manager and saying, get back to what you're good at. I feel that they will go long, they'll go direct to Pita up front, the inclusion tonight. They won't look to hang around on the ball too long.
As Kubas trying to do the blocking off in midfield, went in for it again. Had Omar Alderete next to him, a vastly experienced centre-back. We saw from the graphic earlier, the current live table. The USA, under these circumstances, would win the group. And we're now going into the final match, which is against Turkiye. The table toppers, and that comes with it the prize of having the game here in the Bay Area.
Yeah, just see that Miguel Almirón is the top of your screen. He's out on the right. He normally is on the left, but number 8, Diego Gomez, bottom of your screen, is man-to-man on Arda Guler. He's not going to let him have a sniff this evening. Diego Gomez normally operates out on that right-hand side, very much in the middle, worried about where Arda Guler is.
The Turks know that if they lose this game, they cannot progress. Muldur, no takers there. And it was away with a minimum of fuss in the end by Cáceres. Shakir into the evening sky here in Santa Clara. At the stadium with its very steep banks. Galarza.
It's hoping, isn't it? I have a feeling there's going to be more to come. We've seen some sticky and stodgy games, haven't we, Derek? And this doesn't feel like one of those.
It doesn't. I often feel that in the cool of the evening you are more likely to get matches with this sort of dynamic. And the Turks trying to get it over towards Kenan Yildiz. See if they can work something. Now Muldur. Guler got into position. A superb young footballer he is. The same applies to Yildiz of Juventus. Yildiz, like Guler, only 21.
Both capable of absolute thunderbolt wonder strikes. I've got a feeling they've got to hold their patience here. Ivan Barton is just having to calm things down here.
Cáceres, Cariolo, that's what happened to Cáceres, Rob.
Didn't take much, did it? He's a big, strong boy, Cáceres. Normally.
Cariolo. Well, that was a rocket challenge, and again it was Cáceres involved. Those two are highly likely to see plenty of each other. It's only just got started, this match.
Yeah, well, Kadioglu doesn't need any invitation to come forward. Yildiz doesn't need any invitation to come inside onto his right foot to get those shots away. So, down that left-hand side, I'm just wondering whether Arda Guler will like to join the party over there.
A shout for handball there. Wasn't an especially loud one. It came off Abdelkerim Bardakci. Cáceres there to throw it in for Paraguay. Well, after 65 seconds for the Paraguayans, courtesy of Galarza, and dealt with by Muldur. Alderete took a big swing at it, and then the shot from Diego Gomez. For Paraguay, wayward however.
Such a frenetic energy to this game, and that's what Paraguay are bringing. It's their game at the moment. That's how they want it to be.
Gustavo Alfaro, he's been around in coaching circles. It's with Ecuador at the last World Cup. He's been in charge of Costa Rica. Maybe his finest achievement was with little Arsenal de Sarandi in Argentina. 2012 Clausura championship win. Not to mention the Argentinian Cup. There's plenty of know-how. And it's so far so good for Paraguay after that chastening experience that they went through against a very good USA team on match day 1, and another win for the USA earlier today against Australia. 2 out of 2 from Mauricio Pochettino's team. Yildiz, who went to work again on the left for Türkiye. Muldur. Guler. Arda who did the passing. Shuttled towards Arda Guler. Couldn't hang on to the ball. And Gomez. And then Ciso. And Thiago and Juan Pablo in the studio with Peen talking about Enciso and the sort of things that he can do. Natural dribbler. Keeps the opposition off balance.
Yeah, I just pointed to his teammate to say, make the run. I was looking for you. It wasn't quite there. And Ciso's always bright, always alive. If he does it with 1 or 2 touches, then he generally finds his teammate with a ball for an assist or an opportunity at least.
Here is Enciso. It was calm play, but not the best of passes. And possibilities now for Türkiye. Turkoglu. Second opportunity for him. And Guler. Too much elevation on the shot from Arda Guler.
Gets the applause from his manager, but there's no real control in the shot from Arda Guler. Turkoglu got criticised in the first game, but this is more like it from him. He wants to be running at goal. He's not a natural centre forward. He wants to run down the channels. Good awareness of where his teammate was on his right foot, which is his weaker foot.
Applause, drop said from Vincenzo Montella. Now,
took too long.
Yeah, took far too long. And as a result, it's going to be a corner. Let's quickly bring in Dr. Joe Matnick.
Well, when the goalkeeper holds the ball like that, or it takes time, more than 5 seconds, on a goal kick situation, takes too long, the referee can change the decision to a corner kick.
Thank you, Dr. Joe. And Orlando Gill had been warned. Didn't properly heed the warning. And that is the punishment nowadays. Corner to the opposition, in this case, to Türkiye. Arda Guler. Competing for the ball was Meri Demiral. Central defender who likes to go up for the attacking set plays. Shakir, Galatasaray, used to play for Trabzonspor. Yildiz. Still going, creating room for himself. And then it was blocked.
Needed to square it there, didn't he?
Miguel Almirón coming away with the ball. They have Pita leading the attack tonight. Isidro Pita. And the flag was raised just as that was developing. Pita and not Sanabria in the centre of the attack for Paraguay. Look at the possession numbers.
It's what we were expecting though, wasn't it? Saying that we knew that Türkiye would have the possession, have the flair pairs. Çalhanoğlu, he's in the centre circle at the moment. You're expecting him to dictate more and more as the game wears on. His know-how, his balance and probing.
Akgün is the player who brought it down and then sent in. And almost caught Paraguay on the hop. Yunus Akgün with the delivery. Up towards Pita. Direct approach favoured by Gill, all the way through to Shakir. Third major international tournament. First World Cup, of course. It's been a long time for Türkiye. First time back in 2002. I had the privilege of being with them on their journey in 2002. Made it all the way to the semi-finals. Finished third, overcoming South Korea in the third place playoff. Fighting for the World Cup lives here. Having lost their first game, and now trailing in the second. Haven't really spoken about Hakan Çalhanoğlu much so far, but of course he is normally such an important attacking instrument. Akgün just dragging that one forward. Bardakçı. There's Çalhanoğlu attempting the little flick, but patrolling that sector of the pitch was Diego Gomez. Also have Gustavo Gomez in the lineup. Gustavo Gomez, a central defender, playing alongside Omar Alderete.
This is where the United States were so good. They were so quick against Paraguay in these attacks. Quick passes forward, direct. Turkiye are not doing that. They're slow. It's ponderous at the moment. They need a little bit of urgency, someone to make the runs in behind.
Yildiz, Çalhanoğlu available just beyond him. And here is Çalhanoğlu. It has been given as a corner, much to the chagrin of most of the Paraguayan players, in particular Gustavo Gomez.
Well, that's better from Turkiye. That's what they need. They need those runners in behind. I saw Balogun score, won the goal. It's just a direct, straight run. That's the sort of run they need.
Çalhanoğlu. Gustavo Gomez with the commanding header away. Happy to soak up a bit of pressure and hit on the counter-attack, Paraguay. Look at the qualifying in South America. They had 5 0-0 draws. They conceded only 10 goals. Only Ecuador boasted a better defensive record, but they netted only 14 times in the 18 games, so that tells you everything. And then they were not at all in character against the USA in the first match here at the World Cup.
No, absolutely. And Alvaro, the manager, would have said, what were you successful with? What was your identity to get you there? He performed wonders after coming in after 6 games when they were bottom. Just kept their identity, but they'll be happy with this. They won't mind being out possession.
Muldur. Determined to win every ball that they can, the Paraguayans, and it was Cubas, Argentinian-born Andres Cubas, who went in. Galarza with the goal. Now we've had 3 MLS scorers at this World Cup. He's joined Lionel Messi and Petar Musa of Croatia. Back in 2002, around Landon Donovan, Clint Mathis and Brian McBride scored for the USA, then MLS players. Yildiz. It's been followed all the way there by Cáceres, Jose Cáceres.
It's a concentration job for Paraguay. Going to have long periods, as we were saying, without possession. Face a lot of set pieces. Well, they're used to this.
Çalhanoğlu for Türkiye. Gill was happy enough to punch. Guler was there. Aktürkoğlu. Çalhanoğlu. Well, he doesn't mind firing from long range. It's been a big part of his own personal football history. The format is quite forgiving, so you can have a bad result, a bad performance, such as Paraguay endured against the USA, but then pick yourself up. Trying to get back on track. Galarza. Oh, that was deftly done. Peter.
Good.
That was far from ideal.
It's really disappointing. And Sisso's enraged with him, saying just a bit of quality there. 4 up on the counter.
Bursting forward here, Kadiolu for Türkiye. Yildiz spinning and turning. I don't think he was too unhappy about the prospect of going down with Cáceres in the neighbourhood.
That's naive. Cáceres, Miguel Almirón stood next to him going, what are you doing? We had him covered. He had no routes out. There's a dead end and then two hands in the back. It's just plain stupid.
So it sets up another chance for Çalhanoğlu to play it in. Hakan Çalhanoğlu. A dead ball specialist, amongst other things, for Türkiye. Plenty of tall targets in there, and the header by Diego Gomez. So midway through this first half, Çalhanoğlu again at the controls, looking for Bardakçı. Arda Guler being forced back. Very effective play by Miguel Almirón. Kadiolu. Yildiz, this time in a central position. Immediately robbed of the ball, however. It's totally single-minded. Kubas.
This is the area, Derek, where they just need a run in behind, a straight ball. Turn now, and where's the run? It's not there. Akçakoglu's not making those runs as centre forward.
Bardakçı. Kadiolu for Bardakçı, and Gill watched it. Muldur, the initial header in there. They stand firm again, the Paraguayan defenders, and here's Arda Guler lining one up. And Alderete is positioned back there for Paraguay. More staunch rear guard action. Coming to you from the beautiful Bay Area. We've seen a lot of this part of the country the last few days. Well, it was another lovely day, and temperature cooling down, suitably cooling down for this evening match, the final match of the day. Quite the Friday it has been here at the World Cup, especially if you're a USA fan.
Not if you're Scottish, though.
Not quite, no. Not quite. Rob? No, you were living vicariously through those of us who are Scots earlier on. Lost 1-0 to Morocco. Early concession there, as was the case here. But Scotland are still alive. Arda Guler for Muldur. And that is going to be it for this portion of the game. So Paraguay through Galarza, catching Türkiye by surprise. A goal after 65 seconds. Really just what the doctor ordered for Paraguay. 1-0 here. Hydration break here in the Bay Area. It's Paraguay leading Türkiye by 1-0, and for Türkiye, feeling of deja vu. It's not unlike what they had to go through against Australia, who are very defensive-minded, very dogged. Got the victory there, so they have quite a lot on their plate again, the Turks, Rob.
Yeah, you think you replace the Paraguayan dark blue shirts with yellow ones, and it's the same quandary, the same conundrum for them. Just how do we break this down? It's interesting to see that Akçakoglu did start for Türkiye as centre forward, because his strength is running into spaces, and it's just not there for him. So why Dennis Gill didn't start. No one plans to go 1-0 down after 1 minute, but that's what they're facing now.
So the live table, the United States with 6 points. And this actually suits them. Current state of affairs would mean that they'd be guaranteed to win the group, irrespective of what happens in their final group match against Türkiye. Guardiola. Türkiye will be eliminated with a defeat tonight. Yildiz chisels another corner kick out of the situation, and Çalhanoğlu again the man to take it. Can they make one of these set plays count? A lot of movement in there. Çalhanoğlu, Türkoğlu, and well, it was ambitious certainly from Yildiz. Certainly the sort of thing that ought to keep everyone awake. Don't forget, tomorrow on Fox, the Netherlands against Sweden. That ought to be highly entertaining. And then Germany against the Ivory Coast. And coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 AM Pacific. It's on Fox tomorrow. The games keep on coming.
There's a free kick won there by Muldur, but Galarza just needs to be careful. That was him making the foul, and it's out on the touchline, yes, but if they toss up, already on a yellow card.
Guler. Looked as though that was going to be given as a corner. Ivan Barton just trying to explain what has transpired. Offside flag going up.
Well, these set pieces for Turkey are just trying to create something different, that the 4 Paraguayan defenders can all play at centre-half. So you're looking at 4 big guys before you've added a centre-forward or anyone else from midfield that you've got to cross it into on all these set pieces. Guler and Çalhanoğlu are fantastic at taking set pieces, but they're just being out-muscled at the minute.
In terms of the pattern of the game, it's as we anticipated. Türkiye are taking this match to Paraguay. The only problem was Galarza scored in, officially speaking, the 2nd minute. 65 seconds on the watch. Yildiz and Cáceres went sliding in at the 2nd time of asking. Yildiz once again, and nothing there when all was said and done for the Turks.
Cáceres had to get that right, and he did, tracking back in just to time that foot round, get that nick on the ball.
It was Ismail Yüksek who went down, but nothing doing at all. And Peter overzealous. Isidro Peter plays in Brazil for RB Bragantino. Match momentum. Well, look at the momentum. There was a little sliver of momentum for Paraguay right at the start. Since then, all Turkey.
They haven't had a clear opening, have they? That one shot, that overhead kick, that's it on target. Very little to show for it. Çalhanoğlu will dictate from here, but the combinations aren't there at the minute.
And here come Türkiye again. There's Peter back there, helping out defensively and trying to launch something. Action all happening right in front of Gustavo Alfaro.
Every free kick, every little stoppage, all adds up in towards Paraguay's favour.
Alderete. There's Almiron chasing after that one. Atlanta United player. Now slipped through. Gustavo Gomez to the rescue for Paraguay.
But that's the ball, Derek. That's the run, and that's the ball. That's where the United States capitalised the other day.
Guler, the recipient of the free kick. He's just trying to shove Galarza out of there. Well, you spoke about the two of them, Rob, Guler and Çalhanoğlu. Guler has strolled away, and it's going to be once again Çalhanoğlu.
Yeah, it's a different type of ball. It's one that he's trying to hit the gap between the defenders and the goalkeeper now, rather than one over them. Might not just have the angle.
Again, Çalhanoğlu, and Muldur. He must have thought that was going in. A let-off for Paraguay.
When your luck's out, it's out. He did everything he could. It's a wonderful ball. He manages to get onside, just about and get across his man. And it's a wonderful header. Worked so hard to get there. Maybe Junior Alonso got a touch as well, but the stadium watched and waited. It just wasn't to be for Muldur and Turkiye.
Well, the throw-in has been given here to Turkiye. Muldur will take it, as Rob mentioned. The other player involved in that little tussle was Junior Alonso for Paraguay, the left back. He's in Brazil for Atlético Mineiro. Gustavo Gomez, also Brazilian base with Palmeiras. It brings to mind one of the great Paraguayan players of the past, Carlos Gamara. Spent a big slice of his career playing in Brazilian club football. Bardaccio. Yildiz. Almiron trying to stay with him. Cadiolu. Yildiz. It's Alderete who got in the way, and Muldur. Yildiz went down. Paraguay, who've had so much defending to do, looking for an out ball. Galarza with that lung-bursting run. Enciso. It was asking an awful lot of Julio Enciso for Paraguay. And here they come again. Almiron succeeded in finding Enciso, and the save made there by Çakır. An important 1-2 with Cáceres stepping all the way up from the right-back position.
Really good action, end-to-end stuff. All of a sudden, Cáceres making the run, but Paraguay again proving what a threat they can be on the break.
I think some action is going to be taken here. Ivan Barton, the referee, making his way over to the Paraguayan bench. Gustavo Alfaro still complaining.
Could have been any number of them. So many of them off the bench, yeah.
Of course, anybody on the bench can be booked, not just the coach. Alfaro had a bit too much to say for himself, apparently. Did a very good job with Ecuador. Now in charge of Paraguay. Spoken about going back to the roots, going back to the old Paraguayan values. Stout defence. Türkoğlu hasn't really had much joy in this tournament so far. Türkoğlu, now Enciso, and they have to pay attention here, the Turks. Enciso did rather well. Diego Gomez just hesitated and was robbed of the ball by Mert. Muldur And the game now swaying between the boxes. Akgün, and was there a trip there? Just off the ball. Türkiye is the player on the ground, but no transgression. If anything occurred, it was outside the area anyway. Rob?
Yeah, well, it was outside the view. It was innocuous. They're both running into the space. Gomez knowing, but then the problem is he's trod on his face as he's fallen. You see, it's a fairly innocuous coming together, a collision, and then it's here. Just the camera's just come away. Just after that, just caught him. Turkiye not happy. This was the save. Just stand and back yourself on the angle, stay square on as a goalkeeper. Caceres gets a good strike on it, trying to get it across into that far corner.
Possession-wise, 77% Türkiye. Türkiye having to go off the pitch. We're looking at a minute. Still having to wait. Kenan Türkiye. Diego Gomez. Sliding across from left back was Kadiolu for Türkiye. So now Türkiye has re-entered the fold. Türkiye will not be moving on if they lose this game, and they're trailing right now. Türkiye are the co-hosts of the 2032 European Championship tournament, due to be the co-hosts with Italy. Galarza with the early goal in this contest. Don't forget, coming up, we have the Visa half-time show with Pien Mullenstein, Thiago Alcantara and Juan Pablo Angel in the studio.
Be interested to hear from Juan Pablo Angel, centre forward, whether he thinks Dennis Gill might be a better idea for Türkiye. Turkiyeh's not really had any service, not really had the opportunities, and time is now of the essence for them.
I'm interested to hear from Thiago, such a graceful midfielder, of course, how Türkiye can get Arda Guler more involved in the creative side of the game. That's all coming up with Pien and the team. There is Guler. And Caceres. He's rather enjoying his duel with Yildiz. No-nonsense sort of player, isn't he? Juan Jose Caceres. Last that time was by Yüksek for Muldur. Guler. It was touched on by Yildiz, but through it goes to Gill. Orlando Gill plays in Argentina for legendary club San Lorenzo de Almagro. And tomorrow on Fox, Netherlands, Sweden, Germany, Ivory Coast. A reminder, on the air at noon Eastern, 9 AM Pacific.
It's all getting a bit fractious, a little bit tetchy. Get the feeling that is exactly what Paraguay want.
I think they came here wanting to turn this into a bit of a fight. They certainly have defended tenaciously. Türkiye making most of the attacking running. And Diego Gomez comes off the referee. Ivan Barton. Not sure he could have done too much about that.
Took the wind out of him.
Yeah. Was travelling at a very old rate of knots. Now Gill was slack there, and Akgün, but he kicked it too far forward for his own good. Showed too much of the ball to Kubas. Enciso for Paraguay. Trying to circulate it. Haven't, in truth, had too many opportunities to do that. Little calm possession phases, Rob.
Yeah, no, they don't look to do that. They're kind of a little bit stuck whether they want to do that or not. One or two do and realise it's moments away from half-time, and they can get through to half-time if they keep the ball, but your whole team has to buy into that.
Now Enciso on the move here, skipping forward still. Enciso, will he take on the shot? Enciso, instead it's a little chip back. It was Demiral who got it away. That headed clearance, and now the whistle. It looked really promising with Enciso advancing and advancing.
Oh, it's an incredible run. So many touches, so many little jinks and feints in there, and just didn't take the shot on when he had the chance.
Yildiz. Kadi Kadiolu. Well, it was struck fiercely by Yüksek. And that was a sore one for Peter. He's not the only player on the ground either. And again it gets a bit tetchy. Pushing and shoving and arguing.
Well, I don't know why the game stopped. Yes, he's hurt, Peter, and it's not a head injury, clearly holding his shin. And I think that's the point that Turkiye are making.
There will be a minimum of 6 minutes of additional
It's not a foul. It's unfortunate. These things happen in football.
Vincenzo Montella not having it. Peter is back up on his feet. 6 minutes to be added on.
Yeah. I think these 6 minutes could take a while as well.
I think you're right. I'm with you, Rob. Just a reminder, if it stays this way, Turkey would have no chance of moving on, and the USA would win the group. That would bring with it the benefit of potentially, anyway, being able to stay out west for a round or two or three, if you want to be really optimistic. I'm sure the American squad members are watching this very closely. Just waiting here for Ivan Barton.
Something being communicated to the assistant referee down below us on the Turkiye right-hand side.
Let's quickly bring in Dr. Joe Macknick.
Well, the game is also being held up here for possible video review of what could have been a real serious straight leg foul against the player who's gone down.
Yep.
They're looking at it now for possible red card.
Okay, so off he trots. Ivan Barton to the review area. Pause. And now a VAR review.
Okay, perfect, thank you. I will send off number 10. Open mind for coming.
It's not for the tackle. It's something. Miguel Almirón has said something with his covering his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And that in there
That's
is something.
no-no.
Yeah, you cannot do that.
After review, number 10, Paraguay, cover his mouth. Decision is red card.
So there is the verdict. It is a red card for Almiron. Covered his mouth, which you're no longer allowed to do. At least you're not allowed to stay on the pitch if you're caught indulging in that sort of behaviour. And this is one of the tweaks to the laws of the game that we've been talking about.
Mert knew it straight away, knew the rules. Almiron didn't know. There is no excuse for it. After the scenes of what we saw, Benfica versus Real Madrid. This is why it's been brought in, and it's the right decision.
A bit of history is made at the World Cup anyway, and that is it for Almiron. And Paraguay are down to 10, leading though. Can Türkiye take maximum advantage of their numerical superiority? Çalhanoğlu. Yildiz. Çalhanoğlu. The chip was in there towards Demirel. Now and Siso. Peter simply didn't have the overdrive. And it's going to be a really difficult shift now for Paraguay without Almiron. Playing a man short and fired away without much ceremony by Cubas.
Well, nothing changes, does it really, Derek? We're going to see defence against attack. It's just with one man less on the pitch. Paraguay desperate to get through to half-time now.
Demirel. There'll be a throw here for Türkiye. Mentioned Benfica, Rob. The player in question was Gianluca Prestiani.
Yes.
That was much talked about, and now we have Almiron to talk about. Yildiz and Cubas. And Siso is a natural runner with the ball at his feet. Guler was there linking the play. Cadiolu was left for Guler. All hands on deck here for Paraguay. Cáceres initially with the clearance. And it was going to take a special shot from Yüksek. Had a go. Ismail Yüksek.
Oh, Paraguay will take that. Yüksek on his weaker foot. The only problem for Paraguay is they've got to get on with the game quick, as they give away another corner.
The challenge did come in there from the diminutive Cubas, but apparently nothing wrong with it. And there's another tackle, this time illegal in nature, with Galarza finding himself on the ground. And we're inching ever closer to half-time, as Rob said, as Rob rightly said, 6 minutes promised, but it was always likely to be a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely, and fouls like that will add to it, just eat up the seconds.
The left-footed Gill. He's nodded on by Diego Gomez. And, well, not quite what Galarza wanted to produce. Well, a story of two Atlanta United players. One scoring the goal, the other being sent off for Paraguay. From this position, Türkiye will be very disappointed if they don't get themselves back into the game, and must have designs on winning this now.
Well, they've got everything they wanted, haven't they? Well, but apart from the goal.
There's Akgün. There's the potential opening for the Turks. It was fed back by Yüksek. Still looking to get the shot in. And that latest one from Ismail Yüksek.
Just dragged the shot. Oh, the pressure's building. He's desperate for his team to get off. It will be all hands on deck in this second half.
Well, they still try to direct operations out there. The Turks. Akgün. Wanted it back straight away. Çalhanoğlu. Wasn't really the high percentage option of Bardakçı and blocked immediately by Kubas. Kerim Bardakçı. On with the game here and away by Gustavo Gomez. Gill has the situation under control. Oh, a fascinating second half in prospect. We're not quite done with the first. Slotted down there by Yüksek. Çalhanoğlu. Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Well, he can rip them from there. And Paraguay have had to work almost exclusively against the ball in this first half. Also saw one there for Gustavo Gomez.
Yeah, right on top of the head. Depraved defending. Incredible. Try and head it with the top of your heads, kids. That hurts.
It has been quite expressive in the course of this game so far. Gustavo Alvaro, here they come again, the Turks.
I can't see how Dennis Gull stays on the bench anymore. You know, there's no need for a back four for Turkiye now. Wouldn't be surprised if they make changes.
Çalhanoğlu, Guler. Akgün couldn't get the better of Galarza. And it was going to be 6 added minutes. It ended up being 10. Tempestuous in the first half here in the Bay Area. Paraguay leading, Galarza with the goal, but a red card for Almiron. Back to Pien in the studio.
Derek and Rob, thank you very much. So Paraguay with the 1-0 lead, earning cheers from USA fans who are hoping to see the American side clinch Group D tonight. Pien here with Thiago Alcantara, Juan Pablo Angel, and coming up, first half highlights and a look back at the Americans' massive victory over Australia today in Seattle.
The FIFA World Cup 2026 halftime show on Fox is presented by Visa.
Well, look at that. Turkiye fans back home at Antifelos Ancient Theatre watching the match. Lovely scenery there. Even more Turkiye fans have descended on the San Francisco Bay Area in droves. Their enthusiasm perhaps now dampened by the 1-0 half-time scoreline. Because Paraguay's Matías Galarza scoring just 65 seconds into the match, the fastest goal so far at this World Cup. Paraguay ahead 1-0, but now playing a man down. I'm Pien alongside Thiago Alcantara and Juan Pablo Angel. And guys, we will discuss the implications of this match shortly, but what a start it was from Paraguay. 65 seconds, the quickest goal of the tournament so far.
It's incredible because the first ball that Turkey want to play long is just a missed ball. Paraguay get the chance, and suddenly he has a genius idea to strike the ball from there. So, great goal.
You couldn't have hoped for a better start, but still, you know, getting a little bit of luck. But the way he struck that ball, Matías Galarza, down to perfection. Very difficult for the goalkeeper, no chance.
And then we have a really good cross from Çalhanoğlu and a header that probably Juan Pablo will score the goal, but in this case...
he got a little bit of luck because he hit the back of the defender, but, you know, Paraguay has been defending the entire game, and they got a little bit of luck in there.
And now it's new for us, the situation, I think. Is the new rules in FIFA?
I mean, as much as you might agree or disagree with this, the rules were given to every player prior to the tournament.
Yeah.
So they knew the way, you know, you feel the energy on the stands, you know, the atmosphere within the players. It's just been, you know, a great start for the US team.
Yeah, massive celebrations there at full time. Let's have a look now then at the live Group D standings. If the result holds in tonight's game, the USA would win the group. Paraguay would pull even with Australia, and Turkey would be eliminated. But still, the second half to play, and there is so much still to play for as well. We've got to talk about what's happened with Miguel Almirón getting that red card. As you mentioned, it's the first time we've seen it. But your thoughts on what happened there?
Well, we understand that there is a heat of the game and the players are very involved, but rules are rules, and it's new for all of us, I think.
Whether you like it or no, you agree or disagree with it, you know, the rules were given to every player prior to the competition, so you know what you're playing out. And you're talking about a very experienced player. This is not a young player, someone that hasn't played the game much. This is a guy that has been all over the place, playing the Premier League. You know, he's one of the most experienced players of the Paraguayan team. You cannot do it, you know. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know the rules, and now it's going to be a very difficult task for Paraguay to hold on. They're already, you know, giving possession away. The way they're playing, I think, is a very dangerous game. When they're playing, giving possession to Turkey, and it's going to be difficult to hold on to this to the result.
Yeah, big second half to come then. The Americans' third and final group stage. The match comes your way on Thursday against Türkiye in Los Angeles. You'll be able to see that one on Fox coverage starting at 9 o'clock Eastern. And when we come back, we'll take a look back at a busy day 9 at the World Cup so far, including Brazil. Well, earlier today in Philadelphia, Brazil got back on track, breezing to a 3-0 win over Haiti. Vinny to the Group C standings then, and Brazil have advanced beyond the group stage in the last 14 World Cups, and they just took a big step towards extending that streak. Well, the moment of the half, sponsored by Visa. It is, of course, Matías Galarza's goal, giving Paraguay a 1-0 lead just 65 seconds into the game. We'll be back for the second half next.
Yeah. FIFA World Cup 2026 on Fox is presented by Lay's.
Quite the skirmish so far here in Santa Clara. And Turkey chasing this game, but they have the numerical advantage with Almiron sent off. And on here is coming Barış Alper Yilmaz, taking the place of Kerem Aktürkoğlu. And a change for Paraguay as well. Damian Bobadilla for Isidro Pita. Bobadilla, who scored the own goal against the USA in the opening match. Miguel Almirón ordered off. One of the big stories, the other was the goal after 65 seconds for Paraguay from Galarza. So Bobadilla plays for Sao Paulo in Brazil. Box-to-box midfield player. Came through the ranks at Cerro Porteño in Paraguay. Well, they still have a mountain to climb here, Paraguay, even though they are in front. Did so much defending in the first half. Backs to the wall. Are they going to be able to do that for 90 minutes in totality? Well, down to 10 men. And just to go back to the new tweak to the law, covering your mouth when you're in a situation with an opponent, when you're arguing with an opponent, in a verbal confrontation with an opponent, you cover your mouth nowadays, you're in hot water.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was the right decision, and Miguel Almirón should have known that. You talk to each other after a game or during a game against your opposition in a friendly manner, that's fine to cover your mouth.
There's Muldur. Trying to make the connection with the substitute, Yilmaz. Nice for Galatasaray. The winners of the Turkish Super League again. That's 4 years in a row now. Bardakçı's pass. Guardiola. And it was ambitious, but hit with ferocity by Demiral. And Gill managed to get something on it.
Just controlled the save. Movement on the ball, he wasn't 100%. You can see the little wobble and not overly convincing. He's trying to put it over. It's up to Gomez, heading the ball. He's the one who's going to have to get up in support of Julio Enciso. It's pretty much a 4-4-1 now for Paraguay. Yilmaz has replaced as centre forward Aktürkoğlu, but again, not an out-and-out centre forward. He's one that can play in various roles. It's going to be the same problem for Türkiye.
Right now, Türkiye won't be progressing. Could change that situation. Chip ball by Yüksek. Muldur offering support. Try to whip up the Turkish fans. Behind that goal, away to our left here in the Bay Area. You see the big disparity in terms of corners. And Arda Guler to whip this one in, but insufficient guile there, and away by Diego Gomez for the Paraguayans.
Yeah, they've had no joy from these set pieces, have they? Hit the crossbar with that one. Rather than that, the corners haven't proved to be as fruitful.
Çalhanoğlu. Yildiz. Wrong side of the post of the boot of Kenan Yildiz.
Well, wrong foot, wrong decision from Yildiz. He wants to come inside on his right. Paraguay know that. As soon as he goes outside, they're not going to score from that angle. Just start again. Patience is the key for Türkiye. They've got to keep it.
Vincenzo Montella, he was an excellent striker back in the day in Serie A. Says he feels Turkish now. Having had more than a taste of what football life is all about in the madhouse, and I say that as a bit of a compliment, the madhouse. Football-wise, it is Türkiye. Only need to spend a couple of days to get swept up in all the rivalries. It's 1-0 here to Paraguay. And they are down to 10. Cáceres with the throw. One just came off the head of Yilmaz, the substitute for Türkiye. Alonso trying to make a bit of headway, but failing to do so. Alonso hails from Asunción, the capital of Paraguay. Made his international debut way back in 2013. 33 years of age now. Right now, the USA stand to win the group. They stand to play on the 1st of July here. It's one of the third-placed sides. Of course, Türkiye have the capacity to change everything.
Yep. Got to keep that confidence. It's been 135 minutes, very much without any fruit. Just got to keep the confidence that it's going to flow, and once it clicks, it clicks.
Çalhanoğlu. Kadiolu. Tough-minded left back. The idea was to play it in swiftly towards Yilmaz. They build again here. Türkiye. Çalhanoğlu. No joy for Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Siso's pass. Just dallied on the ball a bit there, Galarza.
But those are the situations, Derek. Chip balls in, crosses in, the meat and drink for Paraguay. As I was saying, they've got the 4 defenders who can play centre-half. They're all sizable units. They're going to be happy to head the ball. It didn't take long to make the difference in the game, and if Paraguay go on to win this, that will be a famous goal in their history. A big if right now.
Long way to go. Galarza after only 65 seconds. With the tally for Paraguay, fastest goal at this World Cup so far. Türkiye, as things stand, He won't be continuing into the knockout stages. Have one more group stage game to come. Either way, against the USA. If you have just joined us, Paraguay down to 10 men. Miguel Almirón sent off for covering his mouth while in a confrontational situation with an opponent. The players all know that's in the laws now. One of the recent additions. Almirón. Arda''s pass. Yildiz. Look at how many Paraguayan players were back, including Kubas. And Ciso trying to chase this one down. Well, he made Arda work anyway.
That's good from Ciso, isn't it? Selfless running. Just sacrificing himself just to put pressure on. Buy some yards, buy some time. He's going to have to do that on his own a lot. For Turkiye, you're looking at them build-up play. They don't commit many players out wide. I think they're missing a trick there.
Yeah.
Yildiz out there on his own. Everyone knows he's going to have to cross it. Get one or two or three players more out there. Paraguay have to commit bodies over and then you cross. That's when the gaps appear.
Yilmaz was showing for it. Clumsy there, the intervention. Humi, he says to referee Ivan Barton. He's not particularly interested in the whinging.
Any moment like that, a little nudge in the back, straight arm, you can see the push. It's an open invitation for any Paraguayan player just to go down and just to kill the game again.
Paraguay back at the World Cup for the first time since 2010. They made it all the way to the quarter-finals, and you might remember that World Cup in South Africa. They gave the eventual winners, Spain, a really hard game. And I will tell you, one of the stiffest tests Spain faced all tournament long. Yildiz. Çalhanoğlu, and now Guler back with Çalhanoğlu. Almirón, who passed it, and well, no foul there, and scampering forwards, and Ciso. Can he produce a piece of magic? Well, no, he runs straight into Arda.
Really good defending from Arda. Just composed, just waited, picked his time.
And Guler, not quite accurate enough. Cáceres sending his head to the ball, but the Turks have it once more. It's going to be a very long second half, this, for Paraguay. Diego Gomez, who went down just briefly. Yildiz and Cadiolu. And just steers the ball off Bobadilla. The man who came on right at the start of the second half for the Paraguayans. Almirón. Cadiolu. Yildiz is the player who decided to do the distributing, playing it infield. Arda right across the face of goal. And no takers. And the wait goes on for Vincenzo Montella's team here in the Bay Area.
It's a wonderful ball. Needs a natural number 9. Yuksik's making the run across the near post. It would have needed a fantastic little touch, but they don't have that number 9. They don't have that out-and-out centre forward. That's where that run, that instinctive run would have been.
Reminder to scan the QR code on the screen in order to vote for the Michelob Ultra Superior Player of the Match. I always value your input. There you go. Get voting. Muldur for Çalhanoğlu that time as the build-up continues here from the Turks. Yildiz. Çalhanoğlu wasn't a bad ball in the end. Çalhanoğlu. That was rather wild.
There's a bit of invention, a little bit of trickery and something different. Çalhanoğlu with a run and a lovely little dink ball. Really have the conviction on the volley. It was such a hard skill, that over your shoulder.
Now that dropping ball, he's trying to find it. Substitution time here. Come back to that in just a second. Next stoppage in play will be a change. Looks like a double substitution for Türkiye. Almiron. Muldur. Trying to make that pacey run. Galarza wasn't too particular about where he sent the ball. Well, Gill is now going to come on, and not just Gill, but Can Uzun as well. The two attacking players. And, oh, it's Gill. Got something on it. Shot from Almiron that time, and Gill is there to cover up.
Well, he got there in the end. Orlando Gill was unconvincing with the first one. There was movement on it. There's a little deflection. As it ends up as a really good save. Alderete getting in the way and evasive action just to get something on it.
And that was the scramble after the fact. Yunus Akgün was in there, but now for the changes. So Gill and Can Uzun. Yunus Akgün has made his way off, so too Ismail Yüksek. Can Uzun, talented player of Eintracht Frankfurt. Gill, you've been talking about him, Rob, giant of a striker of FC Porto in Portugal.
Yeah, natural number 9. He's a target, lives off crosses, headers, in and around the penalty area. It's an obvious answer. Can Uzun is a natural silky type of player, lovely feet, in tight areas. These are two good answers, you feel, for Türkiye.
And Ciso, look at the run, he's gone on here! Oh, it's wide of the target. All his own work, and Ciso trying to bore a hole in the Turkish defence.
It's nearly goal of the tournament so far, that. Taking them all on. Everything but the finish. He's shown some real talent this evening.
Having to do most of the work on his own. We have bodies forward again. That was Yilmaz who went after it on the right, with Muldur having moved infield. Bardakçı. Most of the play happening in the Paraguayan half. See how many bodies they have behind the ball. It's old-fashioned Paraguayan defending. It's what they've been pretty good at down the years. Yilmaz. Still they stand firm. Still they repel. Guler. Yilmaz. Arda Guler. Yildiz for Türkiye, and it was there for Gill. Gill only just on, but no real purchase on the header.
No real pace on the cross, was there? But better from Türkiye. It's a better fit. It feels better. Yilmaz on the right is providing of natural width, being right-footed. He wants to go on the outside. He's Yildiz with the cross this time.
Here is Yildiz. Not to be for Türkiye. Still, it's 1-0 to Paraguay.
He's got to hit the target. Does really well. And then from there, you see exactly what he's trying to do. Doesn't get the purchase of the whip. But Türkiye are knocking all of a sudden. And talking of knocking, he's knocking it around everyone there. Just no control on the shot.
Well, it looked as though it might be one of the great slalom runs in World Cup history. And Ciso for the 10 men of Paraguay. But more pressure for them to withstand. Diego Gomez has hit the deck. And Ivan Barton flashes the yellow card in the direction of Vincenzo Montella. Didn't really hesitate there.
But you can see his anger. Again, it's not a head injury. I don't know why the game keeps on stopping for these injuries. It's unfortunate. Yeah, but there's a little confusion now. He's sending him off even though he didn't have the trainer on. He's in trouble here.
Wow. Gomez told to walk off.
Feels like Ivan Barton needs a session with Dr. Joe.
What can the Turks pull out of the fire? And the run that time by Yildiz. All the while, Diego Gomez waits. Corner here for Türkiye. A shuffle, almost a double shuffle by Guler. Grinding to a halt.
Sloppy for Türkiye, being offside from your own corner. Just in danger of losing control of this. Tempers are rising again.
Confirming the yellow card from earlier for Vincenzo Montella. Gomez having to wait it out before he is allowed to return. Another of the tweaks to the laws. A reminder that unless Türkiye turn this around and win the game, USA will be guaranteed to top the group when all is said and done. Yildiz. Mentioned his name so many times, but all too often he's veered up cul-de-sacs.
Yeah, and it's difficult out there because he's plowed a lone furrow a lot. Just all of a sudden now, Katioglu's getting out there.
And that is certainly not going to worry Gill, the shot from Demiral.
Well, I've not seen Demiral score a lot of goals, but certainly not from that distance. Such a poor choice.
Gomez down once more. Ivan Barton just going over to have a look. So substitution forthcoming for Paraguay with Gustavo Velasquez coming on. Right back or centre back. That should be it for Gomez, making the signal himself. Can Paraguay eke out what would be a remarkable victory? Well, how long did that take, by the way, Rob? How long? Do we time it?
It was a long limp off the pitch, but him coming on now. Velasquez pretty much another centre-back.
And another delay situation here. And all the players all race up. And corner has been given.
No, this is a mess.
It does feel like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, Ivan Barton's lost complete control. He was coming over to have a word with Orlando Gill, and the Turkiye player said, well, you've taken so long, along with the substitution, get on with the game.
So it is a goal kick, and just a word into the ear of Gill. Be mindful not to take too long.
But they've got 5 defenders on now.
I think many of you who watch CONCACAF football a lot know Ivan Barton, this referee, El Salvador. Bit of respite here for Paraguay, who lead by a 1-0. Seems like an eternity ago now. That goal from Galarza after 65 seconds. They continue to lead as we go into the next hydration break here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Türkiye have a lot on their plate. We'll be right back. And back here in the Bay Area, Derek Ray and Rob Green on the commentary gantry. And Paraguay hoping to complete what would be a remarkable act of escapology, if you like. Scored early on, scored in the 2nd minute. Down to 10 men since just before half-time. Almiron sent off. And Türkiye know that, well, they can't afford to lose this game. If they do lose, they will be eliminated. Under a draw or a Paraguay win, and the USA are guaranteed to win the group, and they would play here in the round of 32 on the 1st of July on Fox. Kadiolu is the player who has departed the scene. Eren El Mali is on. Galatasaray player for the Brighton and Hove Albion defender. A bit of rolling around Cáceres after the intervention there by the man we were talking about. El Malu only just on. And the yellow card swiftly produced by Ivan Barton, who's had a challenging evening, Rob.
Yeah, quickest booking of the tournament, I reckon that is. It's a matter of seconds from coming on, and it's innocuous at best. I think Ivan Barton has just had a word with his team, and he said, right, I've got to get a stamp and authority back on this. It's an interesting substitution because Kadioglu is right-footed at left-back. He's left-footed, so you're feeling he's going to go around the outside a bit. But Türkiye have got this to defend beforehand.
Paraguay had precious few opportunities. And Ciso giving it plenty of air. Galarza thought he might as well get into position to perhaps line up the shot now. Let's see if the defence is sufficiently well organised, and Ciso playing his part. El Malu, but just seconds ago. It's a pretty tidy ball. Yildiz. Well, shades of what we saw in the Australia game for Türkiye. Was a raft of shots. Story thereof in that game.
Yep, they're racking up now, aren't they, the shots, and the quality's just not been there. It's been such an obvious thing, but if you're not going to have the quality in front of goal, then you're going to go out the tournament early.
Don't forget, more World Cup action tomorrow on Fox. Looking forward to watching the Netherlands and Sweden, followed by Germany against the Ivory Coast. Coverage from noon Eastern, 9 AM Pacific. That's tomorrow on Fox. Paraguay doing it the minimalistic way. This is their want. Not too much choice given the circumstances after the red card.
mean, that's just poor. That's hopeful at best, just wafting a leg at it, trying to get it in anywhere.
Yilmaz who played it over. Bardakçı. And Gill got a glove on it. And again, as they try to clear the lines, it comes out to Hakan Çalhanoğlu, but a misstep there. He put in the challenge. Well, he atoned for the earlier error. And Yilmaz, but no luck for him against Alonso. Time beginning to become a real concern here for Türkiye. The World Cup future hanging in the balance. Favourites of many in this group. Still have the USA to play, but that might be rendered irrelevant the way this is going. Yilmaz, and behind for the corner. Off Alonso.
Well, they've got a 2v1 now if Yilmaz turns around. Just play the ball short. They've been trying to hoss his crosses in to a little effect so far.
Arda Guler. And Muldur it was competing for it. He was convinced that it took a touch of one of the Paraguayans. So another corner it'll be.
Keep on trying, but every corner hotly contested. Alderete that time. Just feel we've got to do something different, try something different.
Omar Alderete of Sunderland helped them qualify for Europe. Guler. And oh, they needed a really convincing try from Çalhanoğlu, certainly packed with power. Unable to fire it all the way through the bodies. Still 1-0 to Paraguay inside the final quarter of an hour. Drama here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Yilmaz with that ball initially for El Mali. Another corner coming up for Arda Guler to contemplate. Arda Guler. Looked like handball, and it was handball by Deniz Gill.
Well, another corner, another opportunity wasted. I think Türkiye's issue now, the brains are scrambled. They've not got clarity of thought in there. Panic setting in. I mean, this is one of the best chances they've had, and it was a mishit cross. One of the shots that they've had in this half.
Slightly unorthodox goalkeeping, but job done, match momentum, and that tells you the story. But for all that, Paraguay have the advantage. Can Uzun, certainly a potential match winner. Yildiz. Can Uzun. He went down. Gets back up straight away, however. Bardakçı and Muldur, but wide of the target.
Oh, feels a bit desperate. That's the centre-back crossing for the right-back, who's bombing forwards, and would have to be something special from there. He doesn't even know it's going to get to him. He's got to think of something else here.
And excitement in the closing stages. Edge of the seat stuff. Certainly don't want to be going to bed just yet, even though we know it's late for those of you on the East Coast. Quite the day of World Cup action, exhilarating stuff. Tremendous win for the USA. Morocco also victorious. Brazil taking care of Haiti, who have no chance of moving on. And that fate could befall Türkiye the way this is going. Galarza There's the man down. Ivan Barton just walks over. There's Bardaccia here, Rob.
Yeah, that's a good challenge. Gets in, but Paraguay don't get their benches up. They want a free kick. They want some time being eaten up. All the histrionics are out now.
Gill, meanwhile, is down, trying to attract the attention of a few. They certainly don't want to be in any rush, Paraguay. Ivan Barton trying to keep a firm hold on the reins. Gill felt something go twang, and he is back on his feet now. Away with the ball comes Yildiz. Guler, so comfortable in possession. Certainly has all of Türkiye behind him. One of the finest young footballers anywhere in the world. Muldur and Yildiz wanted it. Çalhanoğlu succeeded in finding Yildiz. Kenan Yildiz. So many defenders back. Çalhanoğlu was there, and oh, it wasn't the shot that was required coming in from Mert Demiral.
Good football, good pace on the passing, good cutback. Just lacking the finish. It was a centre-half finish, wasn't it? Orlando Hill's decided to go back down injured again.
Substitution here for Paraguay. Alexandro Maidana to come on. And that is the end of the Cáceres shift.
Substitution.
Well, he's got through a power of work.
Yeah.
Player number 4.
He's done his job. Count that lead. Maidana's a left back. He's got into left midfield, so do not fear. If you thought Paraguay were going to put on an attack-minded player, that's not the case. It is defenders in midfield.
Türkiye, by the way, have registered 54 shots or attempts in this tournament. Not a single goal to show for their efforts. Can they change things? They're going to have to. They want to stay alive. Have a chance of being in the knockout stages. Yildiz. And Uzun! And he couldn't shoot accurately. And it remains 1-0 to the plucky Paraguayans.
Clever idea, poor execution, just dragged it, trying to catch out Orlando Hill at his near post as he's moving across to his left, but so much frustration for the Türkiye fans in the stadium. So little clean strikes on goal. Barely seen Arda Guler have a shot.
Well, that's a very valid point, Rob. I think I'm told we thought we'd see a lot more from Guler in this game. Galarza was a bit hot and heavy, that ball played back. That's all Gill felt he could do with it. Bardaccia. Demiral. Guler's pass. Muldur. Bardaccia. Çalhanoğlu always tries to be the orchestrator. Muldur. Looking to play that butter soft ball in there, but it was too strong for everyone.
The quality's just not been there, has it? Whether it be a strike on goal from distance or the ball in. There's not been a lot of opportunities that you'd say are clear cut, are there?
Not many at all, despite the fact that we've had all these shots that we've told you about. The Paraguayan fans get louder. All because they've won a throw-in.
Yeah, it's the same again, and this is why. all of a sudden it breathes life into their tournament.
So as things stand, the USA would win the group. They'd be guaranteed to win the group. Türkiye would be, well, not eliminated per se, because they have one more group stage game to go, but you get my drift. No chance of moving on. And a free kick this time. And the Turkish players wearing dejected looks.
Yeah. Body language has changed completely, hasn't it? They look defeated now. Arda Guler's trying to gesticulate, trying to get them going, trying to bit of life into this team. It just feels like they're void of all confidence now.
In by Enciso, and oh, it's a remarkable save there by Shakir. And it needed to be, but well, they got players into position. Alonso was one of them.
It was offside. Shakir wasn't to know that. It would have been a save that kept him in the tournament, basically.
Muldur. Yildiz. Guler. Time really is of the essence here for the Turks, and Gill was hovering in the centre. Another player down.
It's brilliant defending from Gomez. Just get your body in the way, get something in the way. Dennis Gould's waiting. Just had to do something.
So here we go with another change. On has come Orkun Kukcu, normally a playmaking figure. And that's all for Bardakci.
It's three at the back now for Türkiye, and just everybody else just go for it. We need an answer. They need something.
Can Uzun. Well, all of a sudden, space opening up for Arda Guler. And a deflection on the way through. That'll be a corner inside the final 5 minutes. Action stations here for Türkiye.
Yeah, it's desperation stuff now. They'll take anything by any means possible.
Guler. That curler into the area. Referee Ivan Baton from El Salvador has spotted the infringement.
That's 11 corners now, Derek. They've not had a clean header on one. Try something different. It's screaming out for a bit of ingenuity, but I think, as has been the way for Türkiye, the brains are just fried.
Still looking for their first goal at this World Cup. There were so many who thought they and the USA might vie for top spot in the group. USA still to face Türkiye. And right now, it would be the USA winning the group and booking for themselves a round of 32 meeting here in the San Francisco Bay Area. I mean that Mauricio Pochettino would be able to maybe look at a couple of other options in the third and final group stage match against the Turks. And Galarza, down he goes. Well, flopped as the challenge came in from El Mali.
The naivety in all of their play. Just let him have the ball for a moment. Two hands on the back. You don't have to push him hard. You just have to make the movement and the contact. He's going to go down. He's just foolish. It's been baffling as to how much they panicked during this game. It feels like the weight of a nation has been bearing down on them as they know the consequences of being eliminated.
Enciso to take the free kick. 2 minutes of normal time remaining. Enciso. And No real chance for the Turks to build something straight away. Yildiz, he got a bit tangled up there. Çalhanoğlu. Çakır hardly mentioned his name at all in the course of this game. It's going to have to be the Turkish late show. Yilmaz, and that was great work, and Can Uzun and Gill wide by Deniz Gill. It just will not happen for Türkiye.
Desperation for Türkiye, and it's a brilliant run from Yilmaz. He's been crying out for a run behind, and he picks out his man, and he's on the spot. He would have been offside anyway. Spared his blushes. Orlando Gill makes the save. Can only parry it just straight to him, but more woe for Türkiye.
They'll try to throw everything they can at Paraguay. More action to come tomorrow on Fox. Took a little deflection there, so it was pulled back by Yilmaz. Here's Enciso taking the ball for a run. Well, he did ever so well. Galarza. And the block was by the substitute, Elmale.
Keep the ball. We know you scored one, but just keep the ball.
Arda Guler does succeed in winning the free kick. And the number on the board is 7. So 7 additional minutes. 2 more players to come on at this juncture for Paraguay. Jose Canale is one of them. And the other will be Gabriel Avalos. Avalos, target striker. Canale usually plays in central defence, and Enciso, I think we have to applaud him, Rob, because, my goodness, they've relied on his ingenuity without the ball, but every so often he's popped forward and asked questions.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. He may not have provided the goal or not have grabbed the headlines with that strike, but as a player who can carry the ball, who can ask a question, he's done everything. Whereas this man did provide the moment of magic in the game. Very early in the game, an hour and a half ago.
Right at the very start of this match. And Türkiye at the moment staring an early exit in the face. Galarza stretchered off. On there has come Canale. Enciso and Galarza of Avalos. The other player on, Hakan Çalhanoğlu. And it was chipped through by Kukçu. Nobody in the vicinity at all for Paraguay.
Oh, this is it. This is it for Türkiye. This is it for the USA as well if they fail.
Even if it were to be a draw, the USA would still win the group. Be guaranteed to finish first in this group. Kukçu. Muldur. Kukçu. Elmale. Now with Guler. Yildiz, it was a fine ball by Guler. Then the foul from Deniz Gill, with Gustavo Gomez on the receiving end. And the clock continues to tick, and Paraguay are inching ever closer to a much-needed victory against Vincenzo Montella's Türkiye. Minimalistic it might be, but effective.
Yeah, they've been fantastic at the back. Gustavo Gomez and Alderete, and Cáceres, when he was on, had it, everything thrown at him, and they come up with answers.
Yildiz and Ivan Barton was just a couple of yards away from that. The free kick has been given. As you can see, Kenan Yildiz not best pleased about it. Confrontation there with Bobadilla.
It's gone from desperation to despair now, hasn't it?
Looks like the USA will be here in the Bay Area come the round of 32. Barring something quite remarkable. In stoppage time at the end of the game, and even a draw. Let's see the USA finish first in the group. Canale is up there trying to make it interesting against Kukçu. Free kick is given. Well, they can't really hang about here, can they?
No.
Türkiye.
No, they've got to get it forward, and they've got to get it forward quick, because they've got to have hope that there's one opportunity, but...
Oh, that was careless. Yeah. Really careless. Velasquez. For Paraguay. Decides to send it in. Canale was of a mind to compete for it in the air. Arda Guler. They need his technical skill at this point. Türkiye. Oh, he's played his way into trouble, but the whistle comes to his aid.
He's a lucky boy. You just can't see where the answer's coming from at the minute. Just got to hope and throw it in there now, because they've tried everything.
"58 shots, but not a single goal to show for them from Türkiye." But here's Can Uzun. Yildiz. And time and again, it's been a case of Türkiye trying to play their way through a thicket of Paraguayan legs. Kukçu. Different angle of approach. Yildiz. Can Uzun. Same old story.
Yeah, they've just stood strong. They've been fantastic, so resolute in their defence.
And it comes from Guler, and the glancing header is just wide, my goodness. Demirel.
No, that was it. That was the chance. He's in tears. He knows it. Just something, just put it in there. For once, he gets up ahead of everyone. With that, you feel that that is Turkey's fate. Turkiye's fate sealed.
Well, showing emotion. We've had the 7 added minutes. Türkiye on the verge of saying an early goodbye to this World Cup. What can they do about that? Well, they might be able to carve out the corner. They have done. There's Yilmaz. Kukçu making his way over there.
Well, there's 1 minute left. Ivan Barton, the ref, has said, just indicated 1 minute remaining.
Kukçu with it. Not what was required. Çalhanoğlu. Good, trying to help it on its way. Last chance saloon time for Türkiye. Can Uzun. It was a foul there by Kubas. So a free kick here to Türkiye. It's not over yet.
Well, it's one moment of magic, one moment of quality, and it's got to be quality on this ball. It's everyone in the box. Çakır's up. This is it for Türkiye.
There is Can Çakır, the goalkeeper now, an attacker. Guler punched away by Gill, only as far as Çalhanoğlu. Wide yet again. Will that go down as the last chance? It will. Paraguay have done it. Paraguay breathing life into their World Cup effort. But the dream is over for Türkiye. They won't be moving on. And we can confirm that the USA have won this group, and they'll be here in the Bay Area for the round of 32 match. Paraguay did it the hard way. Galarza with the early goal. Almiron sent off just before half-time. But they have prevailed by a goal to nil. Let's send it back to Peen.
Derek, Rob, thank you very much. Heartbreak for Türkiye then. What a story, though, for Paraguay. These are the standings. Paraguay's win. The Americans have now clinched first place in Group D, and it means Türkiye are eliminated. And we know for sure now, following Balogun and the Americans will host a round of 32 match on July 1st at San Francisco Bay Area Stadium. Their opponent still to be decided. It is heartbreaking scenes for Türkiye. Who would have imagined that they would have gone out in their second group game, Thiago, but they just haven't performed the way that we all thought they were going to.
For sure. Watching all the games they played, we thought that they would fight this first position with the USA. But yeah, football is the way it is. It's football. And Paraguay deserved as well. They played pretty hard, they defended well, and when they got the chance, they just converted. So well done for Paraguay. They have the chance to clinch in the second position, so yeah, that's football.
Yeah, I mean, it does not surprise me, you know, what happened today with Turkey, because this is a team that, unlike, you know, previous team from Turkey, they rely on individual talent, and before they rely on collective grit. But for Paraguay, all of the criticism that they got in the opening game, today I'm sure every Paraguayan is going to be absolutely represented and delighted to the way these guys played. It was phenomenal. It was a goal in the second minute, but for 90-plus minutes, they have to defend with their hearts, and that's what typified the Paraguayan football.
And how well did they manage the game as well, going down to 10 players and playing all of that second half with a player less?
Well, they didn't change, I think, the idea of the game. They want to defend, they want to do the transitions, just counterattacks, and they had chances to go further in the counterattacks, but they know that they were one man less, so that's why they try to do things for sure with the player, talented player, with Thiso, with other players involved, but then they know that they need legs to defend.
Thiago, but also Türkiye made, you know, things easier for them, because
exactly.
They was always playing on front, you know, they weren't running behind, they were trying to shot from distance all the time, they were hitting the wall constantly, and it never happened.
No, that's
all
true.
right. Well, very exciting for Paraguay. What a win for them. And it was a very exciting day as well for Americans from coast to coast. The first time in 96 years that USA have won their first 2 games at the World Cup. We'll talk all about it when we come back.